Hello everyone and welcome. We are in Yeshivat Chut Chesed under the guidance of Rabbi Shalom Arush, and today we learn and we discuss and we tell over the story. This is Rabbi Nachman's additional stories called The Horse and the Pump. This is a rather famous one. And let's see what this story is about. Once there was a man who did not believe in letzim, jokers. What type of jokers? These are demons from the other side who sometimes come and lead people astray. Is sort of connected to the idea of witchcraft and things like this. Although there have been many encounters with such beings, this man did not believe in them. One night, a joker, came to him and called him, asking him to come outside. When he went outside, the Letz showed him a beautiful horse that he had to sell. Examining it, he saw that it was indeed a very beautiful animal. "How much do you want for it?" 4 rubles, replied the Letz, this joker. The man realized that the horse was worth at least 8 rubles. It was a prime horse in a very good condition, because this was a fake horse. It was just a fiction of imagination. So the Letz was able to make it beautiful, sort of like a witchcraft sort of type of item. He bought the horse for the 4 rubles and felt they had got an excellent bargain. The next day he took it out to sell. People came and immediately wanted to give him the asking price, which he said was 8, right? He said to himself, if they want to give me that much, it is obviously worth twice as much. I said, I'm not going to sell it. He brought the horse elsewhere to a different sale place. People were ready to give him twice as much as the original price. He said to himself, most probably is worth twice that amount. He kept on going further and further, pushing and pushing and pushing, until its price was in the thousands. He still would not agree to sell it to anyone, no matter how much he was offered. He always said, most probably it's worth twice as much. Finally, he could not find anyone who could afford it other than the king. When he brought the horse to the king offered him a huge sum of money for it. Everyone agreed that that was a very fine horse. However, again, he got these thoughts again, and he said, most probably it is worth even more. Thus, even the king could not buy the horse from him. He left the king and brought the horse to a pump to give it water. The horse immediately jumped into the pump and vanished. Of course, this was only an illusion made by these jokers. The entire horse was such an illusion, and they made the horse appear that it would jump into a pump. A pump is like an old-fashioned way that they would get water, a water pump, and it has a small little a lever, and it has a little nozzle. And the horse, this beautiful horse, jumped into the pump. The man began to scream, "Oi, oi, what happened?" People came and said, "Why are you screaming?" He said, "My horse!" And now they all knew him because he had this nice horse. And they said, "My horse jumped into the pump." They started hitting him and beating him. "You fool! The pump's opening was very small. How could a horse possibly jump into it?" He realized that they were beating him because he appeared to be a madman and he wanted to leave. Just as he was preparing to leave, however, the horse stuck its head out again, sort of like teasing him. Again, the townspeople gathered around him and beat him as a madman. Again, he wanted to leave, but as soon as he prepared to leave, the horse stuck its head out of the pump. And this repeated itself. He began to scream again, "Hey, that's my horse, it's right there!" And again, the people gathered to beat him. I guess they didn't see it either. The other side constantly fools a person for no reason, with absolute falsehood that does not have any substance. The person is tempted and goes after it. Each time it appears that he will make more profit, and he desires all the more. He pursues it many times and suddenly it vanishes. As he runs after it, everything he desires is taken away from him. Sometimes the desire goes away a little, but when he wants to separate himself from it completely, the desire sticks its head out again, and once again he pursues it. This keeps on happening. Every time it sticks out its head and he runs after it. Rabbi Nachman did not explain this concept further. Understand it well, which means that we have the ability to contemplate this and say, hey, Hashem, I wanted to get rid of a certain evil desire. I wanted to get rid of a certain bad habit. And sometimes that habit creeps up at me, or a certain addiction, or whatever it is. It's going to keep on creeping out at you in life. And the problem is we say, hey, you know what? Maybe that is exciting. Oh, maybe that is my horse. But if you think about it and you say, how could it be that a horse is coming out of a pump? How could it be that that addiction is going to make me happy? How could it be that that bad habit, something that you know that's bad and something that you want to work on, not to drive yourself crazy, but things that are really not good for you, things that the Torah says is not good for you, things that we know in the world that are not good for us, for our bodies, and it sticks its head out again and say, no, that's not going to make me happy. There's a lot to think about this. And Rabbi Nachman added something here. Sounds a little harsh, but This is what's brought down. There was once a great saint who completely overcame himself with his desires for women and all that area. He perfected himself and he got up to heaven and he saw a pot full of flesh and bones. And he said, "What is this?" And he said, "This was a extremely beautiful woman, and she would specifically make people sin." This was an evil woman, so to speak, not someone that was trying to do their best or just trying to look pretty. No, she wanted to sin with people. And I said, since she warmed herself up and she made people get warmed up, we're going to warm her up here in this pot. And he was a holy man, and he really wanted to see what she looked like before. And he was given divine names that is able to resemble her as she was during her life. And she said, wow, this was really a beautiful woman. So from here we can see how improper this type of desire is. Because if you take things down and you break it down and you realize that it's bone and flesh and skin, yes, it looks pretty, yes, it's beautiful, but there's a kosher way to do it. And there's the right time and the right place and the right environment and the right person. So let's not get pulled away by that beautiful horse that's chasing us and thinking, yeah, for more money we'll make a nicer horse and it's really worth more, and if I do it now it's going to be good. No, let's be able to have the strength to hold back, to realize what is true and what is real and what is the real you. May Hashem help us to learn from this story and to continue learning these stories together. We have an interesting story coming up next. Thank you for joining us. Hope to catch you next time.